Hello and welcome to Vedic Vedata. So, I thought of doing some different discussion from what we usually do. We started with, when we started the channel with Navgraha Kathas. After understanding the Navgraha Kathas, we understood the divisional chart, how to calculate the divisional charts. Then we understood all the things which were necessary in each divisional charts. Afterwards, we came to Panchang. Panchang was a very big topic. Like literally last year, we were just learning Panchang. Each video of Panchang is each master class, or say each lecture of Panchang. Say just for the Vara. Okay, there is almost 2 to 3 hours when we are learning Var. Then it is 2 to 3 hours we are just learning Tithis. 2 to 3 hour videos on when we are just learning the Nakshatras. Okay, so yes, the videos are very long. Okay, and sometimes it becomes very tedious. I would rather also make some cut short videos later on. But of all those who love detailing like me, okay, then they can check out the Panchang series in the Panchang series playlist. There is a whole master class on Panchang. Okay, each lecture is at least an hour or an hour and a half long. You understand every bits and pieces of how the Panchang is derived, the etymology of Panchang, what is the fire element, okay, everything like that. After that, we went into the Bhav Chalit Chakra. We understood different lagnas. We are also learning Grah Drishtis. So all these things are related to the research in astrology. Now I want to do a side by side manner on the solutions from astrology. See, all the things we understood till now was about understanding what it is. But today this series is about solving your issues, solving your problems. We all know there is a karmic energy into mantras. Okay, so whenever you chant a mantra in your head, it is the sky element which you are releasing out. And the Akashic records, the sky element is getting accepted and you are getting the result into your life. But that interaction is between you and the Akashic records. Okay, you and the Maharlok and the Tapalok and the Satalok. Okay, whatever lok you are connected with. But when you chant a mantra, okay, you convert that Akashic energy inside your body, the sky and element of your body, into the fire element. Because every time you move your tongue, okay, the sky element is converted into the fire element, and that fire element is given from your mouth. Okay, so whenever chanting of mantra is taken into consider, you are radiating your fire element. Rather, when you are just thinking or say meditating on a mantra, it is your sky element to sky element connection. When you are chanting a mantra, it is the Agni Tattva that is being activated from the sky element. That is why the Yagna, or say all the sacrifices done by Brahmans, the Yajna, Havan, all is made of fire, and that fire is connected with your chanting of your Agni Tattva mantras. Okay, whereas let's see Rishis. Okay, Rishis, see, primarily understand the two divisions. Okay, Brahmans and Rishis, both are different. Brahmans are basically the Upasak of Vishnu or Narayan. Rishis are Upasak of Shiva. Okay, but this does not mean that both of them are enemies to each other. No, both of them understand their own roles. Okay, so what do Rishis do? Rishis have this direct sky element to sky element, Akash Tattva to Akash Tattva connection. Okay, they do not recite mantra, rather they meditate on each mantra. Okay, so the sky element energy is going from the Sahasrara chakra or say Ajna chakra to the sky element, and the sky element is returning. This connection is like land wire cable. Okay, it is your personal connection. It goes from you, it comes to you. Nobody is Shakshi. Okay, what is nobody is there to vision it. Okay, to perceive it. Okay, nobody is Shakshi to understand that thing or witness that thing. Nobody is witnessing except you and the supreme nature. Now talking about Brahmans do physical recitation of mantras. So whenever you recite the mantra, the sky element is converted into the fire element, and that fire element is going outside your mouth. So now everybody is witnessing what you are giving and what you are getting. So when you chant a mantra, there would be physical manifestation of things which even you can see, and also the surrounding people around you can envision it. When you are just meditating on the mantra, okay, the result you get is just confined to you. Okay, it is your personal connection and personal confinement. What you get, what you give. Okay, nobody is witnessing except you. Okay, and when you want it to manifest in the physical world, in the material world, in this 4 dimension, okay, then you have to recite the mantra. So whenever it comes down, it does not stay in your antarmukhi vidya. It does not stay in your antarmukhi state. Rather, it stays or it manifests from the antarmukhi to baharmukhi. Okay, baharmukhi is when you manifest things outside your body, from your in your surroundings, from your energy. Antarmukhi is manifesting things inside you. Okay, so rishis were a part of antarmukhi community, and Brahmans were a part of baharmukhi community. That's why, see, if you want some help, okay, so who does sacrifice, who does all the yajna, who does the practice? The entire Yajurved is based on Brahmans. It has mantras. It is based on the Baharmukhi. The complete Yajurved is based on Baharmukhi. Okay, whatever mantra you are reciting, you are getting physical manifestation of things. Whereas Rishis, see, Atharva Ved, okay, it is not the physical manifestation. Rather, everything is for the Antarmukhi, inside you. Getting my point? So, this video is about Grah Devtas. The whole playlist is about Grah Devtas. This was just the introduction. So, Devtas, this introduction was necessary for you to understand how to manifest the solutions for yourself. Whenever you want the physical manifestation of your solutions, you have to recite the mantras. When you don't want physical manifestation of your solutions, rather you just want it to come to you, you just meditate on the mantra and do not recite it. Getting my point? Which mantra, how mantra, where to check, how to check, we are coming towards it. This is just the base. What to chant and what to just meditate on. Got my point? Again, let's talk about timings. The timings of rishis to meditate is morning time and night time. So usually when Rahu is activated, say for example at 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. These are the timings where rishis meditate. Okay. So this is where you meditate on a mantra. But when you check, see Brahmans, what is the usually good muhurats for havans and all the Brahman related activity, all the Baharmukhi activities. It is usually either, it is preferred to have the Abhijit Muhurata of the 12 noon, or let's say the first good Choghadiya, that is after sunrise. Okay, either after sunrise or at the 12 noon. Rather, when we talk about meditating on a mantra, the perfect time would be either midnight or early morning, 2 to 3 hours before sunrise. Getting my point? So, now let's move away, ahead to the today's topic. Okay, the today's topic is Pratyaadi Devta. Now, what is the difference between Grah Devta, Ishta Devta, Adhi Devta, Pratyadi Devta? Okay, why so many Devtas? Okay, first of all, understand everything is based on its utility. Okay, the utility of Devtas are, sorry, sometimes I get too lazy. So, I need to work on my mask. So, we were talking about Devtas. So, how to know and how to select a mantra? See, we all know about Grah Devtas. Surya is Surya Dev, Chandra is Chandra Dev, okay, Mangal is Mangal Dev, okay. The normal Grah Devtas we all know, and when we want to pacify those grahs, make those grahs happier, or transform it to a better, let's not talk about transform, but whenever you want to activate a certain grah, or you want to pacify a certain grah, we have the basic Vedic mantras and also the tantric mantras for each grahs, okay. And you can easily get that in Google whenever you search the Vedic mantras of each planet, okay, or tantric mantras of each planet. You will get it on Google, okay. Say for sun it is Om Ram Rim Rom Sah Surya Namaha, okay. That is the tantric mantra. The Vedic mantra is Japa Kusuma Sankasham Bhashapeyam Mahadvitam Namorim Sarva Papagyam Pranatosmi Divakaram. Okay, so there is a difference when we speak about the Vedic mantras. It is more of a stuti, which consists of how the graha is, okay, or we are talking about the origin, action, and reaction of that graha. But when we are talking about tantric mantras, it is based on the mantra siddhis which we get from the Chanda Yoga. Chanda Yoga Upanishad is all about sending frequencies out of your body in a specific order in order to receive the similar frequency of energy. Okay, so when we say Ram, H-R-A-M, Ram, okay, Om Ram Rim Rom, okay, Om Ram Rim Rom, okay, so Ram, whenever we chant Ram, we conjointly radiate the energy of the Vishuddha chakra and a bit of the energy of Manipura chakra, say 75% energy of the Vishuddha chakra, 15% energy of the Manipura chakra, and the rest 10% energy of the Anahat chakra. So when we say Ram, okay, so when we say Hreem, H-R-E-E-M, okay, so similarly 75% Vishuddha, 15% Agya chakra, and 10% Anahat chakra. So Om Ram Hreem, when we say Rom, okay, when we say Rom, okay, that includes 75% of the Vishuddha chakra energy, 15% of equally divided Manipura and Muladhara energy, and 10% of Anahat energy. Om Ram Hreem, Rom. Okay, so this is how we radiate energy, and the similar energy we are getting backwards. That's the tantric mantra. You can easily get the list of tantric mantras of each grahas based in the Google. Okay, I will also make separate videos on the tantric mantras of each graha, okay, and how the chand is connected towards it. Okay, so like what kind of frequency is released from each and every letter, and when you chant, what chakra energy is given out and what chakra energy you are getting. I'll make a different video. So that's about the what we say tantric mantra. Of the Vedic mantra, as we know, it is just a kind of stuti to impress the planet. Okay, so whenever you want to impress the planet, okay, consider using the Vedic mantra. Whenever you want to either activate or change the working of a planet, you want to convert it from good to bad or you want to dissolve your bad karmas related to that planets, okay, use the tantric mantra, right? So this is the difference between Vedic mantra and tantric mantra. Again, mantras I will list it down. So the normal devtas, everybody knows about the normal devtas, the Grah devtas, okay. When we talk about Adi Devtas are those devtas of Grah which control the Grah. Okay, the word Adi, Adipati, which means the king, the ruler. Now, which Devta is the ruler of a specific planet? Is the Adi Devta of that planet. I'll make one more video on the Adi Devta. Okay, each planet has one Adi Devta. Okay, so whenever you want to change the bhagya of your planet, okay, specifically if the planet is not giving good result in your D9 chart, okay, Navman's chart, that is your bhagya chart, then you specifically have to use the mantra of the Adi Devta of the Grah to pacify it. If the Grah is situated bad in your Rashi Chakra at the time of birth, the normal Rashi Chakra D1 chart, if it is placed bad over there, okay, and you want to either pacify it or normalize it, then you use the Grah mantras. Okay, if you want to manifest it in the physical form, chant. If you want it for your internal use, meditate. Okay, if you want it to clean itself, use tantric mantra. If you just want to impress it and make it more stronger, use Vedic mantra. Usually I would suggest that if you want to strengthen your good planets, use Vedic mantra. If you want to clean your bad planets, use tantric mantra. Okay, so tantra is all about cleaning the negative things, and Vedic mantras or say the normal mantras are good for increasing the good result. Okay, but that is for the D1 chart. If it is placed malefic, or say you have a problem with a planet in your D9 chart, that is your bhagya chart. Okay, so in your fortune chart, D9 chart, if the planet is not good, then I would specifically suggest that you should not chant the mantra of the planet. Rather, you have to find the Adi Devta of the planet. Okay, which planet has which Adi Devta, and you have to impress that Adi Devta. So it is like if you want to change your fortune related to that planet. If some planet is creating misfortune and you want to change it to a good fortune, okay, so what you do, you convince the lord of that planet, the king of that planet, the king on whose orders the planetary lord is working. You devote yourself to that king, and that king will order the planetary deity to clean the mishaps it is giving in your fortune. Okay, let's say Mercury. So Mercury is Buddha Graha. Okay, so let's say the tantric mantra is Om Bum Buddhai Namaha. So specific what we say, the ruler deity of the Buddha is the planet Buddha Devta. Okay, or say Buddha Graha. But when we see the Adi Devta of Buddha is Vishnu. Okay, so if your Buddha is inappropriate in the D1 chart, you can chant the Buddha Graha mantras. But if it is inappropriate in the D9 chart, in your Bhagya chart, okay, which means if for your fortune only Buddha is not good, you don't have a good fortune with Buddha. So what happens? Even though you chant the mantras of Buddha, Buddha is not going to do any good for you. He doesn't like you. If any planet is bad in the D9 chart, the planet itself does not like you. So even though you do any good things, that planet is not supposed to like you. Okay, it is not going to give you result, because the planet itself doesn't like you. In the D1 chart, if it is bad, it means that you were born on the wrong period, on the wrong time, at the wrong situation. Okay, so it kind of, it's saying that it was your mistake in the past life, and if you want to correct your mistake, okay, then these are the mantras of the grahas, and you pacify those grahas, and your past life mistake will be solved. But if it is placed ill in the D9 chart itself, in your Bhagya chart only, if the planets are bad, so if the planet is saying you didn't do any mistake in the past life, rather you committed a crime, and for that crime I am not supposed to forgive you, and I will not forgive you. Okay, so the Grah itself, so whenever a Grah is bad in your D9 chart, remember, it's not the mistake you did in the past life, rather a crime that you did in the past life. Okay, so in this case, the Grah itself does not like you. Grah does not like you. So Grah is telling, oh boy, forget about mantras and forget about pleasing me. No matter whatever you do in this life, I am not going to give you good fortune. No matter whatever you do, I will not give you good fortune. From my side, whatever things I control, I am not going to give you things easily. I am going to take your suffering. Okay, so what happens in this case? In this case, it is worthless to worship the deity itself. So what do? We worship the king who is ruling that Graha. Okay, let's take an example of this in our material day-to-day life. Okay, say a very easy example. You did something wrong at your place, okay, and your father scolded you. Now your father is very angry on you. Your father does not want to forgive you because you did some very bad mishap. You broke his mobile. Okay, say you broke his mobile, you broke his favorite thing, or you lost his favorite thing. So your father is very angry. Now he says, I don't want to forgive you. Okay, so what happens? No matter you do anything for him, he knows that you are doing these things to get forgiveness from him. So he is like, okay, I don't want anything from you. You don't do all these things, I am not going to forgive you. So what is the easiest way? What do you do next? In my perception, you go to your grandfather. You convince your grandfather that to convince your father that he should forgive you. Getting my point? If your father is saying he won't forgive you, what do? Go to your grandfather. Ask your grandfather to order your father to forgive you. Okay. Now, why would your grandfather do such a thing? Okay. Because you have offered him your bhakti. Getting my point? So this Adidev is like your grandfather. The Graha Devta is like your father. Okay, but the Adidev is like your grandfather. So what happens is, the Adidev, your grandfather, is able to order your father that go and forgive him and treat him nicely. Okay, so that is the Adidev, and we are going to talk about Adidev in next video. I will list down all the Adidevs, and I will speak more about how to convince which Devta and which Devta wants what and what you can do. Okay, so Adi Devtas will make another video. So now we again go one step forward. Okay, say for example, the planet is ill placed in your D60 chart, which means it is not functioning well itself. Let's say your grandfather can't hear. Okay, he is deaf. Your grandfather is deaf. The similar situation, we are connecting and continuing with the situation. Say your grandfather is deaf. Okay, so now you have a very hard time connecting and explaining your grandfather what happened. Okay, and it is a very hard time for your grandfather to explain and talk to your father because of his disability. Okay, getting my point? The same situation, you broke something of your father is angry. You go to your grandfather is deaf and dumb. Okay, so he is unable to express and make things right on its way. So in this case, what is the problem? The problem is the functioning of the planet. In the first case, planet was ill placed. It was saying, okay, you did a mistake and you need to do some forgiveness. In the other scenario, in the case of Adi Devta, it is saying you did a crime, so forgiveness is not going to be easy. So in that case, you go to the superior one. Okay, but that was a crime. You repent to the crime. You repent to your grandfather that, okay, you go and cry to your grandfather that I am repenting, I want forgiveness, so please tell my father to forgive me. Okay, so that is your repentance. You get things from your repentance. Okay, paschatap. From the first thing, you get it from prayashchit. The second one was paschatap. In the third case, the person you have to do paschatap is not either receiving the paschatap, not understanding your paschatap, is not available for your paschatap. Okay, so what to do? So in this case, we have Pratyadi Devta. And Pratyadi Devta is like your grandmother. Okay, so when nobody can convince your grandfather and can understand your grandfather, there is only one person who can tell you that how your grandfather is, what he is telling. Say if your grandfather is deaf and dumb, he has lived with your grandmother. You cannot communicate with your grandfather cannot understand your way of communication. So what happens? Now you need someone to convince the grandfather itself to convince the father. Okay, and that person is going to be your grandmother. Getting my point? So in that case, the planet is not functioning well. Even though it wants to function well, it is not able to function well because either it is conjoined with too many planets, or it has some malefic Rashi drishtis or Grah drishtis, or it is situated in the Dagdha Rashi and burning itself. Okay, or it is Ashtangad. In any of the cases, there is some miserable problem with that Graha. And it is saying, okay, it's not that you did a crime in your last life. It's not that you did a mistake in your last life. It's all because of what you are in this life. Okay. So if you want to change the mool tattva of that graha, let's say I am let me take my frank example. Okay, let's say my sun is in Maran Karak in 12th house, and it is also in Libra, which is its debility. So the worst possible way, the worst possible sun is the 12th house sun sitting in Libra. Okay, so see how horrible my situation would be. Getting my point? When I was born, my father left me. Okay, which made me an orphan. After being in the orphanage for like 2 to 3 months, okay, my parents adopted me. So that adoption is about Jupiter. Okay, because my Jupiter was good, I got a good guide who is guiding me throughout my life, which are my new parents. Okay, so but if you see, my biological father left me the moment I was born. Why? Sun is in Libra, its worst Rashi, it's where it is debilitated, and Sun's Maran Karak is in the 12th house. Okay, so in the worst house it is sitting in the worst Rashi. Okay, so what happens is whenever there is some combinations where Sun is disturbed, okay, my life is like miserably worst. So I had to change the functioning of my Sun. Okay, so how to change the functioning of my Sun? Go to the Pratyadi Devta or to the mother of the Devta of the Sun. Okay, which is Matangi. So you go and worship Matangi, or you complete 7,000 chants of the Surya Tantric mantra and offer it to goddess Matangi, who is the mother of sun. Now that mother of sun is going to pass on a message to the king of sun, and the king of sun, he will make sure the sun is now giving you good result in your life. Getting my point? So you have to go to the third way. Now that third way is called the Pratyaadi Devta. Okay, 30 minutes and we just reached to the Pratyaadi Devta. Okay, so today's lecture, we are just understanding Pratyaadi Devta of each planet. See, for example, sun. The Pratyaadi Devta of sun is Rudra. The Adi Devta of sun is Rudra. And the Pratyaadi Devta is the Shiva Ghora avatar of Rudra. Okay, so what happens when you have, say, sun is placed in a malefic way in the D60 chart, and in your own chart it is also placed in the Maran Karak Sthana. It makes you egoistical. Your ego is above the Kailash mountain. Okay, you are like Ravana. I am what I am. Okay, you may be what you are, but speaking about it, it makes you egoistical. Okay, so what to do of that ego? So in order to destroy that ego, there is the Ghora avatar of Shiva. Ghora avatar. Okay, that which is not Ghora, it is Aghora. But we are talking of Ghora. So what is Ghora? Ghora is that avatar of Shiva who has renounced every material aspects. For him, everything is okay, and everything is on a Shunya level. Okay, so that Ghora avatar is going to take you to Shunya, void. And when you come to that void, you understand that there is nothing to be egoistic upon. Everything what you might have and what you are might become zero or void in moments. Getting my point? So that realization is given by Ghora. That's why the Pratyaadi Devta of Surya is Ghora. You have to worship Ghora. You have to control your ego. You don't have to do self-bakhan. Okay. One thing you can do is keep Ashtadhatu Murti of Shiva meditating. Okay, the meditating posture of Shiva, where he is wearing that tiger skin, has that trishul. Okay, the meditating avatar. Ashtadhatu. Okay, 8 metals. It would be of black color. Okay, Ashtadhatu. And daily you have to clean it with either water or milk or anything. If your Saturn is not good, wash it with water. If your moon is not good, wash it with milk. If your Mars is not good, wash it with honey. If your Jupiter is not good, clean it with a yellow cloth every day after washing it. Okay. If your Rahu is not good, apply some sandalwood. If your Ketu is not good, apply some, put it on a white cloth. If your Venus is not good, wash it with rose water, or put a rose every day towards it. Getting my point? So worship that Ashtadhatu Shiva Murti of the Ghora avatar, the Shiv who is meditating, the one that has renounced things. This is for the Pratyaadi Devta of Surya. If your Surya is in Maran Karak Sthan or in the D60 chart, it is malefical, placed with malefic planets, placed in the 12th house or in the Libra. Okay. Let's talk about moon. For moon, it is specific. The Adi Devta of moon is Uma, that is the wife of Shiva. But a specific Swarup of Uma is worshipped as the Pratyaadi Devta. So Uma has 9 Swarup, that is the Now Durgas. In that Now Durgas, the main Swarup, okay, that consists of the 9 Swarups is called Uma. The Uma Parvati, the wife of Shiva. Okay, the feminine energy of Shiva. But from that feminine energy of Shiva, if you want to reach to the Pratyadi Devta, okay, you have to worship the Gauri. That feminine energy of Uma, Parvati, which is completely dedicated to Shiva, a complete dedicative wife. The Gauri Swarup shows a complete dedicative wife to his Shiv. Okay, so you have to worship Gauri. You should wear a Gauri Shankar Rudraksh, and you should put milk on a Spatik Shivling every day. Which Shivling? Spatik Shivling. You should never disrespect women, mothers and wives. Okay, and even if you give food to children, especially daughters or girls, it is going to make it very good. Okay, you can also chant a Gauri mantra. I would try to put it in the description, but there is a specific Gauri mantra which was chanted by Sita, and it is given in the Ramayana when Ram came to lift the Dhanush, okay, in the Swayamvar. A day before it, Sita saw Ram, and she wanted that Parvati or say Gauri should help her and make Ram win this Swayamvar. So in that case, she chanted a Gauri mantra which is described in Ramayana. If I can find it, I would put it in the YouTube description. Otherwise, on Mondays, if you do fast, it is also okay. And Shivalinga with milk, Spatik Shivalinga with milk, okay, on every Monday specifically. Now let's come to Mercury. The Adi Devta of Mercury is Vishnu, okay, and the Pratyadi Devta is Narayan. Sorry. Now many people does not know the difference of Vishnu and Narayan. Okay, see, Vishnu is the specific form of God which reside on the Sheshnag itself, who controls the karmic depths, the actions, all the karma cycle of the world. Okay, and when he first came to earth, he meditated and prayed to Shiva on Himalayas. Okay, so on Himalayas he sat and meditated, and he came down in form of two different energies with as two brothers, and those two brothers were Nar and Narayan. Now Nar and Narayan were specifically two, it describes the two big nadis of our body. So Nar and Narayan. Nar is the right side, which is the masculine side of a person, and Narayan is the feminine side of the person or the left side of the person. Okay, so Nar and Narayan. Vishnu divided itself into two parts, that is the Ida Nadi and Pingala Nadi. The Pingala Nadi is the masculine side, who is Nar, and the Ida Nadi is the feminine side, who is Narayan. So he divided himself into Nar and Narayan. So when you worship Narayan, you worship the feminine side of Vishnu, and when you worship Nar, you worship the masculine side of Vishnu. That is why, which is the most masculine and rageful side of Vishnu, that is Narasimha. It consists of the prefix Nara. Narasimha, the masculine lion. That is Narasimha. That is the Nar side. And when we talk about Narayan, we also talk about Hari. So Hari, Narayan, all these are feminine words which denote the feminine side or the Ida Nadi of Vishnu. So the Pratyadi Devta of Buddha is Narayan. Not Nar, it is the Narayan. So you have to worship the feminine side of Vishnu. In this case, you should give clothes to, if possible, you should give clothes to kinnars. If you give clothes to kinnars, this mercury problem will be solved if you have this mercury issue in your chart. Okay, and let's say if your mercury is either in the Maran Karakstan. In Chandra, we forgot to mention that Chandra is in Maran Karakstan in the 8th house. That's why we call it Chandrashtami. So whenever Chandra is in 8th house, it is in the Maran Karaksthana. Okay. Similarly, When we talk about Mercury, Mercury is said to be in the Maran Karak Sthana. If you are a Mithun Lagna, then it is in the 4th house, that it is the Maran Karak Sthana. And if you are a Virgo Lagna, then it is in the 6th house, that it is in the Maran Karak Sthana. In rest, if you are not a Mithun Lagna or a Virgo Lagna, your Mercury would not be in the Maran Karak Sthana. Okay. So whenever it is in the Maran Karak Sthana, the natural lords would be Chandra, and 6 would be Shukra. Okay, so Chandra and Shukra. You have to specify Chandra if you are a Mithun Lagna, you have to specify Shukra if you are a Virgo Lagna or Kanya Lagna. But in both the cases, if it is placed 4th from your Mithun Lagna or 6th from your Kanya Lagna, only then it is called in the Maran Karak Sthana. For that, you have to give clothes to Kinnar, or if you can't do that, okay, one thing you should do is, you have to change, you have to chant the Vishnu Sahasranam. When you chant the Vishnu Sahasranam, the Adi Devta will get activated, and as soon as it is going to be activated, you will find a person in your life who will come to guide you. Okay, so this is one way. The second way is a very easy way, but a kind of tough way. Whenever you wake up in the morning, okay, before you put legs down, okay, before you when you wake up from the bed like this, okay, and then when you turn and put your legs down on this earth, before your legs touch to the earth, or when your legs touch, the first thing you have to speak every morning is Namo Narayana. Okay, remember that. If you do that, you don't need to do anything in case of Pratyadi Devta and your karmic faults of Mercury. Again, as I said, for all these Pratyadi Devtas, you have to check your D60 chart, right? Or if it is in the Maran Karak Sthan in the D1 chart. So the third one is the best solution if you can understand it. But you have to do it daily. Daily, whenever you wake up from the bed, before you speak anything, or even before your legs touch the ground, the first thing you have to speak is Namo Narayana. Okay. Now let's come to Venus. Venus is going to be in the Maran Karak Sthana at let's say, let's not go to Venus first, let's come to Mars, because Sun, Moon, Mars should have come first. So Mars, the Adi Devta, or say the Pratyadi Devta, is Skanda. Skanda, who is the first son of Shiva, the master of all arts of war and also the master of spirituality. So if Mars is, say, very highly placed, you are extremely spiritual, you have no interest in the materialistic world. Let's take my example. I have Mars in the 12th house, very highly placed, okay, and even with Sun in it. So total inclination towards spirituality. So very less inclination towards material life. Okay, so you are very much away from all the material desires. Okay, and you are striving to get and understand what people are running and doing in all this world. Like, what is this person doing? Why is he running? What is life is going to be meaningless at one point. All the sangharsh you are doing in this life would go vyarth. Okay, so that inclination which will cause imbalance between the material life and the spiritual life, it is because of Mars. Okay, so whenever your Mars is in the Maran Karak Sthana, or say it is very debilitated or afflicted in the D60 chart, or in the Maran Karak Sthan, which is 7th house, okay, then you have to worship Skanda, and the deity you have to worship as the Pratyadi Devta is Kshetrapal. Okay, for that what you have to do is, you have to always give some food to let's say rishis or sadhus, or okay, daily you go to temple and the pujari, you have to touch the feet of the pujari. Go and touch the feet of the Pujari daily and your Mars is going to be okay. Don't do anything. Even if you don't give anything to the Pujari. If you give, very good. Give food, very good. Okay. But even if you don't give, just touch the feet of the Pujari or any sadhu. Okay, your Mars is going to be okay. That is the solution of the Pratyadi Devta. Getting my point? Because see, it is said, when you touch the feet of someone, it's like you are bowing down to get water from the Varun Dev of ocean. Okay. So even when the ocean does not want to give you water, when you bow down and take it, you have the water. So even if the ocean does not want to give, when you bow down, you get the water. નીચું નમવાથી પગે લાગવાથી અગર સામેવાળા માણસને તમને આશીર્વાદ નથી દેવો ને તોય તમને મળી જાય છે આશીર્વાદ, કારણ કે તમે એની સામે તમારું મસ્તક ઝુકાયું. whenever you bow down, you keep your head below, bow down. Okay, so you bow your head down, so you gave away your sun, you give away your energy in front of someone. Now even if that person is not willing to give you good energy, you will get some good deed for bowing down, for leaving your ego. Okay, so for Mars, go and touch the feet of any mandir pujari daily. It is very good. If not daily, on every Tuesdays. Or see where your Mars is placed in which house and see the lord of that house. On that day you go. Okay, the Pratyadi Devta remedy of Mars. Also, if you touch the feet of your spouse, it is also going to give you good results. Okay, because Mars is in the Maran Karak Sthan in 7th house. 7th house is your relationships and spouse. So touch the feet of your spouse and it is definitely going to release all that the ill functioning of Mars, and your Mars functioning will get okay. Right. So now let's move to the Mercury. We completed Mercury. Now let's move to Venus. For Venus, the Shukradev's debilitation would be in Virgo and in the 6th house. Okay, so 6th house is the Maran Karak Sthan. So if it is placed in the 6th house, or if Venus is debilitated, or in the D60 chart it is in the malefic position, then you have to worship the Pratyadi Devta of Venus. And the Pratyadi Devta of Venus is Indra. Now why Indra? Any reasons for being Indra? Because Indra is highly materialistic. See, Venus is all about luxuries. And when we talk about luxuries, okay, when we talk about luxuries, Indra cannot control any of his desires, and Indra is always stuck with his own throne. So whenever your Venus is afflicted, your desires and there is total loss in self-control. Okay, you will be desiring something, you will be wanting something, you want this, you want that. So okay, so your senses would not be in your control whenever Venus is bad. Plus whatever you want would not be good for you. Plus overly materialistic, which might be like running towards materialism, luxury, doing bad karmas for luxury. Okay, so all these things are because of the bad Venus. And when you want to pacify this Venus, either you have to worship Indra or you have to worship Lakshmi, because Lakshmi is also the Pratyadi Devi who is going to give you good money. So there is Lakshmi, there is Alakshmi. Because of Alakshmi is something you get for doing bad karmas. From bad karmas you attain that money, which again goes into bad things. So that is Alakshmi. If you get money from doing good karmas, that is Lakshmi. So worship Lakshmi and you will get very good money, and that good money is going to spend itself into good things. bad money is going to spend itself into bad things, good money is going to spend itself into good things. Okay, so for this, do Indra Gayatri mantra, and with the Indra Gayatri mantra, do Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. Whenever you do Ashtakam, you ask the god or the goddess to make your soul just like them. Okay, so when you do Mahalakshmi Ashtakam, your soul will become like Mahalakshmi. Okay, so you will start attracting and performing like Lakshmi itself. And when you do the Indra Gayatri mantra, Gayatri is all about Buddhi. That is why it is Gayatri. You see the normal Gayatri mantra, Dhi Mahi, the Dhi itself is the Buddhi. So any Gayatri mantra is asking the god to give you his or her mental understanding, his or her mindset. Okay, so ask Indra to give you his buddhi by doing Indra Gayatri mantra, and ask Lakshmi to give you her traits, her energy traits by doing Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. Do Indra Gayatri, and do also Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. Do both the things. Indra Gayatri, I would prefer that again, when to do it, you have to see from your chart. Okay. So that was about Venus. For Mercury, I forgot to mention that it makes you too much argumentative. That's why when you worship Narayan, the Nar avatar is the one that puts his words on top of everything else, and the Narayan avatar is something which is not at all argumentative. Okay, no arguments, just perform your karma. Okay, so we talked about Venus. Now moving towards Saturn. Okay, Saturn's ill placement is in the first house, because first house is lorded by Sun, and if Saturn is placed over here, your ego will diminish. Okay, so rather than being even you will not have that self esteem. Okay, even that self esteem will go away. So what happens is, if Saturn is over here, so what issues it is going to create is, it is going to give you, it is going to indulge you into so many questions in your life, and you have to work harder in achieving things. You will have so many obstacles, because Saturn is saying that you have to grow stronger and stronger, learn to fight, learn to be on your own, learn to do your karmas, learn to do this, learn to do that. Okay, be on your own. Okay, that is what Saturn is asking to do. That is why in the first house, in the Lagna, Saturn is debilitated. It is the Maran Karak Sthan of Saturn. Okay, why? Because it is feel like dying. Why you have to fight for your own survival? Whenever you have to fight for your own survival, it is that dying thing you suffer. Okay, so who is going to be the Lord? The Lord over here is going to be Yamraj, Yamdev. Okay, because you are feeling like dying from inside, so you worship the Yamdev, that either take me away from all this, or at least order Saturn, order your brother Saturn to reduce my responsibility, because you know I have to live over here. You know I have 30 years more to live over here. Okay, when you know that, please ask your brother, the king of Saturn, to reduce my difficulties. So the Pratyadi Devta becomes Yamraj. So you have to worship Yamraj. Okay. And for Yamraj, I would say you either feed buffaloes. Feeding buffaloes is also very good. And you can chant just Yam. No, you see, there is also going to be Yamraj mantra, Yam mantra. But I would specifically say that don't chant Yam Raj mantra and Yam Gayatri, or don't do anything. Just chant Yam on the pitch of Ma, or say Tivra Ma. Okay, in the Madhyam Saptak, press Tivra Ma. It would be like Ma on this frequency scale. Ma on this frequency scale, you have to chant Yam, Yam. Okay, keep chanting this Yam. Okay, that is going to release all the ill functioning of Saturn. It is going to impress Yamraj, the Pratyadi Devta, and he will order the king, his brother Saturn, that come on, this fellow has too much life left. Don't do with him like this. थोड़ा रहम खाओ, क्या कर रहे हो? बच्चे की जान लोगो क्या? Okay, so Yam, I would say Yam is the best mantra. Don't do any mantra rather than Yam. And if you are not good at chanting, if you are not good at being on the frequency, one more thing which you can do is Kala Bhairav Ashtakam. If you do Kala Bhairav Ashtakam, it is still okay. Either this Yam chanting on the Tibra Ma of Madhyam Saptak or Kala Bhairav Ashtakam. Getting my point? So these were of the basic planets over here, and if your Saturn is not very well placed, you would be doing injustice, you would be biased, you might also be lazy at times. Okay, these are some common mischiefs. So these were planets, okay, and their Pratyadi Devtas. What to do if these planets are not functioning well? Okay. Now coming towards Rahu and Ketu. For Rahu, I guess 9th house is it's Maran Karak Sthana, and for Ketu it is 4th house. For Rahu it is 9th house, for Ketu it is 4th house. Because 9th house is the sthana of Dharma, and Rahu does not have anything to do with Dharma. Rahu is all about his unlimited, never-ending, infinite desires. He is just the head, so it keeps on eating, and there is no stomach. So he keeps on eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. There is no satisfaction. Okay, so if Rahu is in 9th house, he keeps on eating. And what does he like to eat? He likes to eat where the Ketu is sitting. Now Ketu is sitting in the 3rd house. So if Rahu is in 9th house, Ketu is continuously eating the energy of 3rd house. Getting my point? So it disrupts the 3rd house, the house of speech. And 3rd house is also your Vishuddha Chakra. And when the Vishuddha Chakra is spoiled, forget anything. People talk about Agya Chakra and Sahasrara Chakra, and I say if the Vishuddha Chakra is not proper, nothing is good. If the Vishuddha Chakra is proper, no matter all the chakras are ill, it is going to continuously clean it. Okay, so over here the Pratyadi Devta of Rahu is Durga. Okay, so do Durga mantra, now Durga mantra, and a specific mantra is Durga. There is one Durga Kavach mantra. I will be specifying in the YouTube description. You can do that mantra, and it is very good for 9th house Rahu or this troublesome. So if you are searching for the Pratyadi Devta of Rahu, it is Durga. Worship Durga. Okay. And in the Navratri, all the 4 Navratris of a year, fast all in the Navratris, do some good karmas in Navratris, and Rahu will be okay. Or just one thing, donate some amount of money on every Durgashtami in any temple or to any girl. Okay, in any temple or to any girl on every Durgashtami. Okay, and do fast on Durgashtami. And I don't know why it just erased out from my mind, but that was that Durga mantra, which is very good, which you might be able to do. I would add up in the YouTube description box. And for Ketu, Ketu is a very dark and shadowy, in what we say, secretive planet. Okay, its debilitation is in the 4th house, which is ruled by moon, and it is all about your past karmas. Okay, so the Pratyadi Devta over here would be Chitragupt. When you die, the one who watches the list of your karma and decides what you have to do, what you not have to do, where is your next birth, that is the Lord Chitragupt. So in order to please Ketu, you have to do Chitragupt. You have to go and worship Chitragupt. Okay, and how to worship Chitragupt? You have to worship your Pitris. Worship your Pitrus, especially your Gram Devta. Gram Devta is the Devta you worship in your whichever Devta your forefathers are living, and forefathers were worshipping in their own village. Okay, over here we call it Surapura. Okay, in wherever in the world there would be different names. So whatever forefathers or ancestors were worshipping in their village, okay, you have to worship that deity, and the Ketu problem will be solved. Okay, so the Pratyadi Devta of Ketu is Chitragupt. But since you cannot directly access Chitragupta, you have to ask the Pitris to get access to Chitragupta. Okay, so you have to worship your forefathers and ancestors. And the best thing you can do is on the Pitru Paksh, that 15 days fast. Okay, so thank you for joining Vedic Vedanta. Time is very short, that's why I am cutting short. The next video will talk about Adi Devtas, Grah Devtas. This was perfectly on Pratyadi Devtas. Okay, thank you very much for joining. For any questions, get into comments. So thank you very much.